And in number 5, the global icon that could have been the Emerald Arrow.
The CF-105 Arrow was a very important technological advancement in Canada. In the late 1950s, the Avro Aircraft Company in Milton, Ontario decided to create another aircraft that would replace CF-100. Crawford Gordon was the head of the company, and he employed thousands of engineers, technicians, and etc. The replacement of CF-100 was thought to be bizarre, for it had a supersonic performance and its technology was thought to be ahead of time. The new Arrow was even more advanced because it used 2 engines and delta wings and a sophisticated fire control system. It was sold to Royal Canadian Air Force to be used for military purposes. It was designed to carry 2 people as well as missiles and weapons. However, Diefenbaker, the Prime Minister of Canada, cancelled the production of the Arrows and destroyed all the remains of it. The remaining metal parts were sold to create pans and pots. The cancellation resulted in a wastage of $400 million tax dollars, distorted in the Defense Department, and 14,525 laid-off workers. They destroyed blueprints, pictures, and films about the Arrow. The engineers moved to U.S. companies and NASA. This raised a debate whether or not it was the right thing to cancel the production of the Arrow, for it may have changed the whole future of Canada. Although it was never completed, the Avro Arrow was included in one of our top 5 technological advancements in Canada. This is because it proved to the world that Canada had military strength and autonomy. Prime Minister Diefenbaker did not know this then, but the Avro Arrow received lots of attention from other countries as well. This is also a very tragic event, for Canada lost many workers and engineers who would have contributed in their future advancements in Canadian technology.
And in 4th place, the first snowmobile, the Ski-Doo, and not the Seagull.
Time and the weather's fine with snow on the woods and field when I reveal my snowmobile.
The first snowmobile was made by 15-year-old Armand Bombardier, who later became the entrepreneur of one of the most successful companies in Canada. He put together a salvage motor and radiator from a Model T Ford and fastened it with the metal frame of an old farm sled. He and his younger brother tested it, and it worked just a few days before Christmas of 1922 in Valcourt, Quebec. He started his business, Bombardier Incorporation, when he was 19 and continuously innovated his snowmobile year after year. He designed it so that the front wheels changed to skates and the back wheels were closer together to reduce rear differential. In 1935, which was a year after his son's death, he became determined to create a more efficient snow vehicle. His son died because he couldn't get to the hospital due to all the snowfall that year. He thought that if he could eliminate all the inefficiencies, it could even save people's lives. Then he finally mastered it. Later, he designed B7 Bombardier 7-passenger snow vehicle, which was useful for carrying doctors who had to transport as fast as possible in snowy weathers. And during World War II, he created B12 to carry troops for his service to the Canadian military. After the war, the business skyrocketed and the snowmobile was named the Ski-Doo, which was originally supposed to be named Ski Dog, but got changed due to a typo. This wonderful new method of transportation is recognized worldwide even today. We chose the snowmobile to be in the 4th place in Canada's technological advancements because of its popularity. Since the 20th century, many people, not just Canadians, were able to make a very good use of it. Not only this vehicle is useful and efficient, it is also recreational, therefore many people get to enjoy and have a good time. The Ski-Doo is especially loved by Canadians, for before it was invented, the snowy terrain of Canada prevented people from traveling freely outdoors.
Number 3, proudly representing Canada in space, the Canada Arm!
When out on the street today, the Canadian dream was as far away as it's ever been.
Canada's most famous robotic and technological advancement made its space debut on November 13, 1981. The concept originated in a technical challenge issued by NASA in the early 70s for its space shuttle. DSMA Atcon, a small Canadian firm who had caught NASA's attention with a previous invention, partnered up with other companies and drafted a proposal for the remote manipulator system. With the support of Jean Sauvé, in 1974, Canada agreed to build its first shuttle remote manipulator system. The result, the Canada Arm. With nerves or copper wiring, bones of graphite fiber, and electric motors for muscles, this invention possesses the dexterity of a human arm. Deployed for the first time on mission STS-2, the Canadarm has set satellites into orbit, retrieved ones to repair, supported astronauts during spacewalks, provided visual inspection of the shuttle, knocked ice off vents, and loosened a jammed solar array panel, without malfunctioning once in 50 missions. Currently, 3 Canadarms are attached to the shuttles Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour. The Canadarm firmly established Canada's international reputation for robotic innovations, with its excellent performance record inspiring several generations of scientists and engineers as they develop new technologies for industry, medicine, and other applications. It has also led to Canada emerging as a leader in the development of techniques involving robotic surgery. Not only will the Canadarm be remembered as one of the pioneers in robotic technology, it is a powerful symbol of Canada's technological and technical accomplishments, and seeing our country's name visible in space is a source of national pride for Canadians all over the globe. For being an innovation that proudly established Canada's reputation in robotic engineering, this defining technological advancement comes in at number 3.
And at number 2, the innovation that sends shockwaves around the globe, the pacemaker.
In 1954, Wilfred Bigelow, an MD at the University of Toronto, and his trainee John C. Callaghan, also an MD, were developing hypothermia to reduce metabolism and to produce bradycardia to allow for invasive surgery. When they were having difficulty returning the heart rate back to its normal pace through heating the body, they called in an engineer by the name of John A. Hobbs. He designed the very first catheter electrode for cardiac stimulation, which was inserted into the body and attached to a vacuum tube operating an external pacemaker. This first pacemaker was 30 centimeters long, too big to be inserted into the body. This device uses electrical impulses to stimulate a rhythmic heartbeat when it suffers from bradycardia, atrial fibrillation, heart failure, and syncope, all of which are dangerous heart conditions. Over time, the size of the pacemaker decreased and it was made more and more efficient. In 1957, it was implanted into the human body for the first time. For the next 30 years, scientists continued to improve on this amazing invention. They were worried that the battery pack that ran the pacemaker would die out, and so, in 1965, they made the first ever biological pacemaker. This model uses energy from the human body itself to function. This invention is rated second on our list of top 5 because unlike the Avro Arrow, the snowmobile, and the Canadarm, the pacemaker has directly improved the lives of Canadians as well as people all over the world. In Canada itself, in 1989, 7,500 new pacemakers were implanted into patients, and 1,200 had their battery packs changed, saving many lives. The recipients of the pacemaker continue to live a worry-free, active, productive life. Today, this invention is an essential appliance for many people. But there is one other thing in our top 5 that surpasses the importance of the pacemaker, holding the position of first place.
One of the most revolutionary breakthroughs in medical science, and winning Canada its first Nobel Prize, the discovery of insulin.
Got the news today. Doctor said I had to stay a little bit longer and I'll be fine.
Insulin is a life-saving treatment for people suffering from diabetes mellitus. Commonly known as diabetes, it is a disorder caused by the body's inability to break down glucose. Before 1922, people diagnosed with diabetes were put on special diets and received only as much as food as they could metabolize. However, they began to lose weight as their bodies started converting fat into energy. Most patients eventually went into a coma and died within a few years. On November 1, 1920, Sir Frederick Banting came upon the work of 2 early researchers who found that when the pancreas of a dog was removed, the animal developed diabetes. Yet when the islets of Langerhans were preserved, the animals remained unchanged. Banting traveled to Toronto, where J.J.R. McLeod gave him a laboratory and an assistant, Charles Best. Banting and Best successfully performed the experiment, chopping up cells of the islets of Langerhans and injecting the extract, insulin, into diabetic dogs. McLeod assigned biochemist John Collop to develop a method for making the animal insulin safe for humans. In 1922, 14-year-old Leonard Thompson, who was dying of diabetes, was given the first human experimental dose of insulin. The insulin saved his life, enabling him to live for 13 more years until dying in an accident. This discovery of insulin at the University of Toronto in 1921 to 1922 resulted in the first Nobel Prize for physiology and medicine to be awarded in 1923 to a Canadian. This discovery was a remarkable medical breakthrough, and there are hundreds of success stories of lives nearly lost until insulin. Although not a cure, insulin remains to be the only effective treatment for more than 220 million people worldwide today who have diabetes. And what was once a death sentence, these diagnosed with diabetes can live long and healthy lives. For being one of the most revolutionary discoveries in medical science, it is no doubt that insulin takes the #1 position on our list of most defining technological advancements of Canada's 20th century.
Waiting on the cure, but none of them are sure. A little bit longer and I'll be fine.
Insulin. That's what I said.
I would say insulin because insulin has helped lots of diabetic patients worldwide live.
I think snowmobiles are the most because action movies with mountain themes would be nothing without them. They'd just be like skiing or running down the hill, and that's not fun. Snowmobiles are. I think it's insulin because it saves so many lives. I think it's insulin because it's the first time that Canadian has been satisfied with all my life.
Yeah, I think I would say insulin. I think insulin.
They're just really important in their own ways. The Canada arm is significant because it puts Canada onto the world stage, the universal stage. Insulin helps people who have diabetes to live a fuller and richer life. I don't know much about diabetes, but I know that you waste away slowly and painfully if you have it. And since insulin was discovered and stuff like that, people are living. The Avro Arrow was a significant aspect of our history because it was one of the fastest airplanes ever. I think they're all really important.
Canadian, please, even if in winter things tend to freeze. We got the world monopoly on trees, and our country's bordered by 3 different seas.
Yeah, I know that you wanna be Canadian, please. We invented the zipper, we got expertise. We made insulin to combat disease. Yeah, I know that you wanna be Canadian, please.
And next coming up is the second episode of Hell's Exam.
Oh no, I screwed up on my exam.